So hello everyone, welcome to another video. My name is Arfan from Cifar, and today we are going to learn how we can add a nice feature in our website which is actually on hover background change. I think this is an interesting feature that you might want to use in your website. So let's actually take a look here. So here you can see that we have this website here and it is having a nice title, description and the button, but this title is not our regular title. We have a feature in this title. Whenever we are hovering a word in this title, now you can see that the background is changing according to our word. And also we have this visual indicator line. You can see that now we are hovering UI UX, so it is actually indicating that the background you are seeing is a UI UX background or a background according to the word. So if you hover application, now you can see that we have our background according to our application, or you can use any kind of background. So this is what we are going to make in this video. So I hope this will be interesting, and if you find it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And actually no more talk, let's get into it. So we are in our HTML file, and also we have CSS and JavaScript, and also we have these three images that we are going to use. So here in our HTML file, first of all, let's get a boilerplate with exclamation sign, and after that we will have a section. So section, and inside the section I will have a div with a class of container, and here inside this we will have our images. So I will create a div for that. So let's name it bg. So we will have this bg class inside this div, and here we will have all of our images. So let's create an image tag, and also let's give the source. So it is in the images. So I will have basically my three images here. So this will be second, and this will be our third image. So these will be the images, and also inside of our these images I will have the class. So this will be id1, and for the second one I will have the id2, and for the third one I will have the id3. So if I save, and I should see the images. So it's not looking good, but we will give the style later. And after that div, let's actually create an anchor tag which will be our text. So let's have a class here with the name of text, and inside this text we will have our h1. So this is the h1, and here we will have our span, and for the span we will create our text. So the first thing that I will have as a text is the website, and after that inside our span I will have the data. So in our HTML we can create our custom attribute with the data. So we can say something like data dash, and after that you can give it a custom name, and I will give the custom name which is the id, and for the first one the value will be the 1. So this will be our first text, and we will have two more. So let's actually duplicate that, and let's say that our second text will be the app, and the third text will be the UI/UX, and also change the id. So second and third. So let's save it, and now we should see our this text. So if so you can see that that's our text is showing here. So let's come here in our CSS, and before that let's actually link the CSS. So this will link the CSS, and inside the CSS first of all let's grab the fonts. So we are going to use Montserrat, so not Montserrat. So today we are going to use actually Open Sans. So that's the one, and let's grab the 300. Yes, this one, and let's grab the import tag from here and paste it in the top of our style.css. So now we can use this Open Sans font in our website, and after that let's actually reset all the margin and padding. So margin will be 0 and padding will be 0, and also let's say that box sizing will be the border box. Now you can see that we don't have any kind of extra gap anymore, and after that let's actually apply our font that we imported from the fonts.google.com. So font family for our HTML will be the Open Sans, So if I come here, now you can see that the font is already applied and it's looking good. So also let's say that I want to have the font weight, which I grabbed, which is the 300, and perfect. And after that, let's come to the section here and say that the height will be, and before that actually let's actually say that I want to resize my images. It's not looking good right now. So for the images, what I can do actually before that, here let's actually say that in our VG, inside that VG we will have our images, and for that I will say that the width will be 100% and the height will be 100%, and also let's say that object feed will be the cover, not contain, cover. So what it will do, it will actually make everything resized, and as you can see that now, so now you can see that it is having now 100% height and width of our window. And now let's actually go to our section. So here let's come to the section. So for the section, what I will do actually, I will say that the mean height will be our 100 VH and the width will be 100%, and also say that display will be flex and align items will be center, and justify content will be flex start. And now we can't see any kind of change, but we will. So now let's come to our container. So here in the container, so container, and let's say that the width will be something like 90%, and also the max width will be something like 1000 or 1200 pixel. So this will help us whenever we are going to large devices, and this will keep our layout 1200 instead of having the fluid layout. So also let's say that margin will be 0 and auto, and this will make sure that everything is center. And after that, here I will say that the height that I want is 100%, and also let's say that display will be flex, and align items center, and justify content will be the center. So now you can see that we are having two things, and images and also this text, and whenever we are saying that display will be flex, and it is making the flex direction row by default. So that's why we are having this row layout. So let's actually change it and make it column. So let's say that flex direction will be the column. Now you can see that it's looking good. And after that, what I want actually, I don't want to have these images something like that. I want to have it as absolute element. So let's say that in the VG, I will say that the position will be the absolute, and also let's say that I want to have the left 0 and the top 0, and also the height 0, height not 0, 100% of the parent, and the width also the 100%. And also let's say that I don't want any kind of overflow, so let's say that overflow will be hidden. Now you can see that we have only one images because we just said that overflow will be hidden. And also we can't see our text because we have this VG, our top of our text. So to get our text back, what we need to do actually, we need to make the z index of this VG -1. So if I save that, now you can see that we have our text back, which is top of our this VG. So here in our anchor tag, the text decoration will be none, and also the color will be the white smoke. And if I save, now you can see the changes here. And also let's say that the H1, so basically the display will be flex, and align items center, and also not center actually, we don't need any kind of align items, we just need the justify content flex start, because what I need actually, I need to have this in the left side. So whenever we will have the width of 100%, now it should have the font size of something like 40 pixels. So now you can see that we have a bigger font and looking good right now. And also here in our letter spacing, so 10 pixel, so we can have now a little bit of spacing between the letters. So now it is looking good. So we have our this text in the center, but we want these in the left side. So for that, in our container, we need to make sure that the align items is the flex start. So now you can see that it is in the left side. And also here in our H1, we can just say that the text transform will be the uppercase, and looking good. And what I need, actually I need to have some separation, means the space between the word. So for that I need to go to our span, so which is inside of our h1. So I just can say that container, and inside that we have h1, and we inside that we have our span. And here I will just say that margin right will be something like 50 pixel. Now you can see that we have this space and it is looking good. And also let's say that I wanna have the display inline block. So now it is looking perfectly fine, and now we need to work a little bit more in our background. Now you can see that we don't have enough contrast for this text. So for that, what I want to do, actually I want to have an overlay in our background. So here let's create a pseudo elements. So after, and let's say that the content will be empty, and also let's say that the left will be 0 and also the top will be 0, and also make sure that the position is absolute and the height will be 100% and width will be also 100%. And what I need, actually I need to have my background color, which will be the black right now. So now you can see that we have this black color, and it is actually an overlay, as you can see. So we can just decrease our opacity. So let's actually keep it something like 5.2 or something like that. Yeah, looking good. Now you can see that we have now enough contrast for our this text, and it is looking good. So now finally we need to go to our JavaScript. So before that, let's actually link our JavaScript here. So script source, and we need to add our app.js. So in our JavaScript, first of all, let's actually grab all the element that we need to work with. So first one is the parent background element, which is the background element. So I just can say that parent bg element equals to document dot query selector. So we need to go to the vg. So it will select the background element, and after that we need to select the child elements, which is actually the span that we have here. So these three span that we need to select. So let's say that constant child elements. So document dot query selector. So this time we need to use all because we have multiple elements. So we need to go to the container, and inside the h1 or inside the, we can set text, we have a span which we need to grab. And after that, let's actually grab the actual our text, so which is the text element. So I just can say that constant text element. So document dot query selector, and we need to grab the text, and that's it. We don't need anything else. And let's come here in our child elements. So child elements dot for each. So we need to loop through. So for each element, what I need to do, actually I need to add an event listener. So el dot add event listener, and the event is actually mouse over. It means whenever we will move our mouse over the word, so each of the word have now this event listener, and whenever we will move our mouse over this, what we wanna do, we wanna have some interaction here. So here let's say that first of all we need to grab the ID that we are having the mouse over. So let's say that the ID equals to el dot get attribute. So we wanna get the attribute which name is the data ID, and we will have the ID here. And with that ID, what I need to do, actually I need to grab these images. Now you can see that we have this ID, and let's say that I am hovering this app, means we are getting the ID2, and with this ID2 we are going to select our this image. So for selecting the image, what we need to do, actually we need to get the image. So bg element, so let's name it bg element equals to, so parent element. So you can see that we are having the parent element, means this is the parent element that I am talking about, because that's our background, or you can name it background element, whatever you want. So inside this parent element, I want to say that query selector, and I want to select the ID. So for that I need to use dynamic value, and for that let's use backticks, and here let's say that the ID dash our selected ID with the $sign and curly brackets. You can just say that the ID. So it will be something like whenever we are hovering app 2, we will get the 2 ID inside this one, and we are selecting ID dash 2. So this how it will work. So let's actually see that and console log it. So console.log, and here just say that bg element, and if I come to the inspect and let's come to the console, so here we don't have any kind of error, good news. So let's actually hover a word, so you can see that we are having null, means we are doing something wrong. So we are having the query selector ID. Okay, the problem is this is a class, as you can see that. So this is the class, and we need to make sure that we have the dot before our class name. So that's why it is not working before. So if I now come here and let's actually hover first one, you can see that now we have the image one. If I hover the second one, we have the image 2, which is the image ID 2, and you can see that we have now the third one. So we are selecting our image correctly. So after that, what I need actually, whenever we are selecting something, I need to make sure that every images that we have here is having a display none, and only the selected ID image will have the display block. So to do that, I need to loop through every images. So I just can say that parent element dot query selector all, and we need to get the images from that. And here for each images, what I wanna do, I wanna say that the image dot style dot display equals to none. So it will display none all the images. So whenever I will hover, now you can see that we don't have any kind of images. So it is actually displaying none all the images, and what I need to do actually after that, I need to have the display block only the selected images that we have here. So I just can say that background element dot style dot display equals to block. So that's it. So if I have that, now you can see that we have our images and it is working perfectly. So though there is a problem, we don't have any kind of animation here, as you can see that. So let's actually use this animation. So let's actually add this animation. So how we can add this animation? So for that we need to create animation. So let's get back to our style.css, and in the bottom we will create a animation here. So animation, and let's name it something like anywhere, and here let's say that in the 0% we will actually, I think I have a spelling mistake here. So animation, oh sorry, I just forgot the syntax. So it is the keyframes and the name is the anime, and here I will just say that the opacity will be the 0.6. So in the beginning it will be the 0.6 opacity, and in the 100% we will have the opacity of something like 1. So let's actually start with this simple animation, and whenever we will actually displaying our element display block, it means whenever we are displaying these images, I will have the animation right then. So what I need to do actually, I need to say that background image or background element dot style dot animation equals to, so I need to say that I will have the animation 1 second and ease, and it will go forwards. And if I save, now you can see that we have this flash here, which is actually having from the animation. So basically we are having 0.6 of opacity, and from that opacity we are actually animating this opacity to 1. So we are having this, which is perfectly fine, but the problem is the animation is still there. Whenever we are hovering the website, we have the animation, but whenever we are going app to UI, the animation of the application, this app, is still there. We don't want that. We actually wanna remove the animation before we wanna add. So background element dot, not background element, sorry, the image dot style dot display, animation equals to none. So it will make sure that there is no animation, means whenever we are hovering we have the animation, and whenever we'll go to the next one, it will clear all the animation that we have before, and it will add only this animation that we are going to hover on. So now it will be great, as you can see that. And the problem is it is looking not that much good. So let's actually add some more animation. So we will actually have a transform which we will scale from the 1 to transform scale 1.1, and let's see what it will have. So you can see that now we have a good animation whenever we are hovering, but you can see that in the background there is a white color flash whenever we are having the animation. So if you want to change the color, what you need to do actually, or if you want to remove that, what you need to do here in our this background, you can actually have a background color. Let's actually say that I want to have the black. So now whenever we are going to have the animation, now we don't have this color anymore, or you can see that it is looking much better. And if you want, you can actually have any kind of color. Let's say that I want to have this color. So if I save, now you can see that whenever we are having, if we are having this, actually we need to change the color here. Now you can see that we are having this color whenever we are having this flash in the background. So you can use any kind of color. Let's go with the black. So it is looking good right now, but we don't know which one is now active. Means you can see that we have 3 words that we can hover, but right now it is actually active, this app, but we don't know actually, there is no visual indicator. So let's actually create a line. This will actually indicate that the website is now active, or the application or the UI UX is active. So inside of our this anchor tag here we have our h1, and inside this h1 we will have another span. So this span we will have a id which will be the line. So this will be our visual indicator. So now let's actually apply the style for this line. So this is here in our span. So after the span, let's say that we will have this line. So first of all, we need to say that the position will be the absolute, and the left 0, and also the top 0, and also the height will be something like, let's say that 10 pixel will be good, I think, or 15 pixel. And we need to go to the border. So we will have border here, so 5 pixel, solid, and royal blue. So we will not have any kind of pointer event here. So let's say that the pointer event will be the none, and we will have a z index of -1, so that it is actually behind this word. Okay, so now you can see that we have the line in the top corner because we are using position absolute. So now we need to make sure that we have position relative to our h1. So here in our h1, so let's say that the position will be the relative. Now you can see that it is positioning relative to our this h1. So now we can say something like the width will be, so let's give it a fixed width, something like 245 pixel. Now you can see that we have our width here. So instead of top, let's actually say that we wanna have it in the bottom. Now you can see that it is in the bottom, and if you can notice, it is actually behind the word. If you can notice that, because we just said that the z index will be the -1. So now what I need actually, I need to move this line here, this visual indicator, whenever I will hover any kind of word. So if I hover the UI UX, it will move from here to there. So let's actually do that here in our JavaScript. So from that point, we are going to have our line animation or visual indicator animation. And here let's say that constant. So first of all, let's get all the information about the word. Means if I hover the UI, or UI UX. So we need to get all the information, means this is the width of the element, the position of the element, means the X from this point, and also the Y of the element. So we need to get all the information about the word that we are going to hover. So we can do that very easily. So let's name it chords here, and el dot, let's say that get bounding client rectangle. So this will actually get all the information that we need to use. And also we need to get the information of our text, means you can see that we have this text, which is actually our parent element of this all word. So we need to get the information of this text. So constant, I just can say that text chords text element, so which we already selected here, as you can see that. So dot get bounding client rectangle. So what it will do, actually it will get all the information about the element. And what we can do now, I just can say that whenever we'll hover any kind of element here, we need to first of all get the line here. So let's say that constant line element document dot query selector, and we need to get the line. So here what I need, actually I need to say that line element style dot width. So whenever I will hover UI UX or any kind of word, what I need, actually I need to get the width of the element, and I need to make sure that we have the same width here in our line. So for that I just can say that the chords dot width, means whenever I am hovering a word, the line width will be the same width of the element, as you can see. So if I save, it should work. So whenever I will hover the app, okay, it is not working. Okay, the problem is, you can see that in our style we need to give it a width, and the width is actually a pixel value. So we need to make sure that we have this pixel. So now it should work. So now you can see that when I am hovering this app, the line width is actually changed according to our hover. We are having now UI UX width, which is a medium kind of width. We are going to app, it is a lower amount of width. And whenever I will hover this website, as you can see that the width is actually according to our word. So perfect, it is working. So the next thing that I want to do, actually I need to move this. So whenever I will hover the app, I need to move this from website to app. So to move that, I just can say that line element dot style dot, so I just moved it in actually horizontally. So I just can say that left. So left equals to, first of all we need to go to the chords dot left. So we will get the left value from the chords element chords, as you can see that. So from that I need to actually subtract the text left. So I just can say that text element, or I just can say text chords dot left. So now it should work. So if I hover this UI, now you can see it is not working, because we have the same problem. We need to make sure that we have the pixel value here, because that's the unit. So if I hover, now you can see that it is actually moving through our word. Whenever I'm hovering application, now the visual indicator is saying that the active slide or the active background is for the application or the app. So it is looking good, but one thing is missing. We don't have any kind of a smooth animation for our line. So to have the smooth animation here in our line, what I can do, actually I just can say that transition will be not transform, sorry, transition will be 1 second is and for all. So whenever I will hover, now you can see that we have this nice animation when I'm hovering. So if you want, you can make it something like 0.5. Yeah, it's looking much better, I think. So now you can see that we have these visually line indicator here, so which is indicating us the active word, as you can see. So the next thing what I need, actually I need my other content, means actually that's our headline, that we have this feature, this hover feature, and after that we should have some text. So let's actually say that after the anchor tag we will have our text, so paragraph. So let's actually say that lorem20, and also the text we will have a button here. So let's say that click me. And here in our style, let's actually style those elements. So now you can see that it is looking great. We have our this nice effect that we have. The problem is whenever we will go to the mobile device, it is not looking good. Even we don't need this feature in our mobile, because this is not actually necessary thing that we need to have our in the mobile design. So let's actually remove this for our mobile. So for that, what I will do actually, after this anchor tag, I will have a normal h1 which will have a class of mobile text, and here I will have the all thing that I have, so website, app, and the UI/UX. So what I will do actually, I will just say that for our initial state I will have no mobile text here, so mobile dash text will be display none. But whenever we will go to the mobile side device, so let's actually create a media query, media only screen, and max width. So max width about 768 pixel. And here what I will do actually, I will just say that the mobile text will be display block. Now you can see that we are in the mobile. Now we have this, and in the mobile device we just need to remove this our previous text. So I just consider the text that we have for our large device or the default text. You can say that display will be none. So now it is removed from here. Now we have our mobile responsive back. So but whenever we will go to the large or the medium device, we will have back this feature which we can see here. So you can use a relative background that you want to show your user whenever they are hovering. So now you can see that I am hovering the UI UX. I should use a nice UI UX example in the background. So that's it for this video. I hope you learned something, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe the channel. And once again, my name is Arfan and I will see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye, Koda Hafiz.